Oh, coffee brewed so fine, you clear my mind. Hey, coffee. Hey, coffee.
Attention! Stand at ease.
Hello, cadets, and welcome back to Booth Camp. I am your instructor, Andrew Scott, and today we are going to be looking at a new microphone. You might be a little surprised that this is like my first microphone video. Well, let me speak to that in two ways. Number one, a lot of times when you're new into the industry, microphones and gear and outboard processing equipment and all that stuff can be completely and utterly overwhelming. It's nothing but specifications and weird letters and charts and graphs and stuff that just overwhelms you. And I don't find that particularly helpful. Really, what I encourage new talent to do is find a mic, USB, XLR with phantom power, whatever. Find what you can get the best that you can afford. By the way, buy used. Microphones don't have a whole lot of moving parts. It can be a pretty wise investment to buy a higher end microphone or any microphone new. But the other reason why I don't get super granular with these kinds of things is because there's other people that do that and are going to do it a lot better than I do. And honestly, when it comes to mics, I'm always going to point to the OG mic. And that's my buddy Mike Delgadio over at Booth Junkie. Go check out his channel. If you ever have a question about whether or not a mic is suitable for this or that application, or if it sounds better or, I don't know, less better than another mic, Booth Junkies and Mike Delgadio, OG, that's the place to go. He's going to be able to drill really deep down into the specifics of microphones and put them side by side in a shootout format so that you can hear the difference. But the truth is, what one voice sounds like on a microphone doesn't necessarily, equate to what another voice is going to sound like. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be your voice and your mic and your ears that establish what right sounds like to you. But having said that, something groovy showed up in the on my porch today. I was going to say in the mail, but the only thing that comes to me in the mail now is bills. But I got an offer through a giant online web shopping service that everybody knows because it's like the only way we get stuff anymore.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
But it was an offer that I couldn't refuse. And so let's kick over to the other camera and see what showed up in the mail. Cutscene. Alrighty, booth campers, let's see what we got. This is my brand new Lewitt LCT441 Flex. Just came in the day's deliveries. That's the life we live now. But let's pop it open and see what we got, huh? Yeah, sorry about the glare there. Here's your standard issue bunch of literature, including a sticker, getting started guide. And we get a nice leather pouch. Surprising, this actually seems to be real leather. But let's get to the goods. The goods. So we get the proprietary Lewitt shock mount. And this is all plastic, but it's pretty decent weight plastic. It doesn't seem to be, doesn't feel chintzy, but it feels plastic. And this is a squished up proprietary clown nose or foam pop filter. And then here is the shock mount. This looks to be standard hairband kind of shock mount support. Boy, talk about Maury effect there, huh? But let's get to the money. And here we go. Oh, how helpful of them to put the front sticker on there, huh? And I think all we do now is plug the thing in and get to playing. So, let's take a look at the brand new, to me, but brand new, Lewitt 441 Flex. Now, before we give a quick listen to what this mic actually sounds like, this mic is different than many other mics. Now, you've often heard me or other people talking about polar patterns. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying it's the shape of the sensitivity lobe that the mic has. And when you're doing VO, typically we're using something that's referred to as a cardioid style microphone. And all cardioid means is heart-shaped. It's got two larger lobes, and then it diminishes towards the back. And there are different types of cardioid patterns. There's supercardioid, hypercardioid, normal cardioid, and all those are different shapes of sensitivity on your microphone. Now, right now, I'm using my Synco 2D shotgun microphone so that it can be, out of camera here. And that is a hypercardioid mic, meaning that it has a very narrow lobe of sensitivity. It's right up there. I'm an inch away from it right now. And you actually probably heard it attenuate when I put my hand up in front of the microphone. But the Lewitt 441 offers something that a lot of microphones don't, and it might really suit your use case. And that is selectable polar patterns, selectable pickup styles. And it can go from a standard cardioid shape to a wide cardioid to a figure 8, which means that it's sensitive equally from both the front and the back. Now, what would a use case like that be for voiceovers? You could imagine it being useful for, something like podcasting when you got two people in one room talking. But could that actually be helpful to you for voiceovers? Well, it definitely could be if you're doing something like serialized podcasts where you're telling a story with multiple people, or you're wanting to do a read with two people in the same space so that they can play off each other's energies, but you either don't want to or don't have two mics, or maybe in your booth you don't have room for two mics, but you want those people in the same space. There, you've got a figure 8 or an omnidirectional pattern. The Lewitt 441 has 8 pickup settings. And we're definitely not going to go over all of them right now because it's a little bit of overkill. But I do want to give you a sample of what the Lewitt 441 Flex sounds like. Now, disclosure, I'm going through my PreSonus Revelator IO24 interface. And I am going to have a little bit of compression, just because I want you to hear what it sounds like. But I will shut all the effects off at one point in time so you can really hear what the microphone sounds like naked. Let's get to it. And this is what it sounds like. I gotta say, I am pleasantly surprised. Now, one of the reasons why I got this mic is because I discovered that my Neumann TLM 102 isn't particularly flattering for my partner's voice. it just seems to take all the air out of her voice. She has a very nice, warm, mid to low alto speaking voice. So having the life sucked out of it is really not what I want. And I decided, again, when, the gigantic big box online retailer gave me a deal I couldn't refuse, I decided not to refuse it because I wanted something that would help bring out the character of her voice. And I think this might do this. Now, if you look at the frequency response curve that we have for this microphone, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. For me, in my voice, I feel it throws a little bit too much air in there. It's a very clean sounding mic. And in many ways, that's great. But for me, being as sibilant as I am sometimes, it's going to enhance, if not exacerbate, those characteristics. Now, the other thing to take note of is I'm technically speaking into the back of this mic. Now, I've heard it both forwards and backwards, and very little discernible difference. It sounds pretty much the same in its figure eight configuration, which is a good thing. You wouldn't want a whole lot of color on the front side of the mic and then like no color on the back side of the mic. You want it to be pretty equal. And this seems to deliver. All in all, I got to say I'm really happy. And running through the Revelator 24, the combination out of the box is pretty solid. So I've just thrown on everything the IO24 fat channel can provide me. A little bit of compression, a little bit of EQ, running a limiter on it. And I got to say, I'm pretty happy. It's going to sound better in my booth. And at some point, I'll do a video of this mic in my booth, maybe a shootout against the TLM 102, see what you guys think. But meanwhile, hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Is this a good solution for you personally? Are there applications where you see this being a real benefit to you? But I got to say, Lewitt, you guys did a really nice job with this. This is a very flexible mic. Again, dependent upon the voice and dependent upon the voice characteristics. But I'm pretty impressed. And for the price, for $400 to get essentially 3 different mics in one and be able to choose between them in this form factor, yeah, it's pretty good. But anyways, that's what I got for you this time, folks. Go out and get yourself a mic, any mic. Find a place to start. Get yourself in a box and see us again next time here on Booth Camp. Bye-bye, everybody.
Dismissed.